Now, now, that
But
that's the new and hopefully to change and also improve theme song for Metal
nice
Wolf,
butts.
presented by Mecha Wolf, presented by Steve, presented by Tulso, and also presented by Tulso. How are you guys?
I'm
I am.
doing all right. Got the day off today.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you answered for everyone collectively.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't get
I'm
my day
gonna
off on Wednesday.
assume that your answer applies for everyone. They all got the day off. Everyone's just chilling.
Where the fuck are they in chat?
I don't know, man. Probably out in the real world, doing real things with real people,
Meh,
with
meh,
real dreams and real
meh.
goals. Yeah,
People's lives.
and I don't know how you do it. How's it going, everybody? It's me, Steve, the Top Hat Tom Sawyer, and
That's not your
Ben,
name.
the Tormentor Tulso.
That's pretty close.
All right. And we're here to talk to you guys about fucking metal like we do every week now. Sorry
Ish.
for being late. Yesterday, both of us had things to do in the evening that made it really not convenient for us to do the show.
Real life got in the way. What else is new?
Food, dishes, cleaning,
Cats.
fallout. It's it's a tough life out there. Fallout is an insidious disease. I just want to say that right now. I know I've touched on this last week, but basically everyone inside of our Discord, if you follow the handy dandy links underneath the YouTube uh, thing there's a link to Discord. I don't know.
Yep.
Sure, and I'm sure Tulso can also probably just throw one in the chat. Anyway, in our Discord, you'll notice at any given moment there's about 6 or 7 people who all have playing Fallout 4 right beside their name,
Yep.
and I'm really sorry to everybody in chat. That's my fault. Uh, I showed everyone some mods that take the busy work out of Fallout 4 and let you just do quests and stuff,
Let you get to
and
the shooting.
everyone has just been re-injecting that needle straight into their veins. So, my bad. It's so much so that it completely took over our plans to play through the latest season of Diablo 3 on PS4, um, which just got completely sidelined by all this fucking Fallout.
Well,
But
also, you died earlier, I hear.
I sure as fuck did. Yeah, you know, it's a rough life out there. Nobody said it was gonna
My
be
VATS
easy.
button isn't working. My VATS button isn't working.
Yeah, no. I got cornered in. I was playing the monk, and I got cornered in to a point where I couldn't like teleport away from a mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just ganked me. And then Ian is not strong
Talk to
enough.
him, Maple stuff.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I play with him, I feel like I'm the one who has to keep him alive, not the other way around. So, cause I'm the only one so far, other than like Kyle and Ewok, I guess apparently. Um, I'm the only one I think who's actually gotten into like the hundreds of paragons on hardcore seasonal.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You've never played hardcore on Diablo?
Never played Diablo.
Okay. Conversation over.
Shut down.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah, so we've just been playing a lot of fucking Fallout. And yeah, we're here to do the show now because we're not playing Fallout. But I
I
will be as
was.
soon as this motherfucker's over. I promise you that. Just like the instant that stop streaming button is clicked, I am double clicking Fallout 4 script extender and running the fuck out of that game. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great. Um, yeah. So let's get into talking about metal. As always, Mr. Tulso, take us away. What's new this week? What's new to you? What have you been listening to? What should everyone listen to? Why?
Uh, shut up for a second.
Eh, Go ahead.
I keep following down that path. I went last week with the instrumental stuff. Um, came across another band called Fifth Quadrant. They've got an album that is pretty much all instrumental as well. I will drop a link for that into the chat.
Oh, and let our Metal Wolf followers know that we are live in the Discord
Yeah,
channel.
yeah. I'm
I'll
getting
do it.
there.
I'll do it while you do your stuff.
Yeah, doing something. um, I've also been getting super excited for Automata 2 coming out next week. I got the shipping notification in my email the other day and spent a couple seconds wondering what the hell I ordered that I don't remember. As they put up the Automata pre-order like 2 months ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to look it up and see if there was any like teasers or any leaks of the album that have been put out, and I've remembered that that's only going to be 4 tracks. Um, this is kind of a shorter album kind of setup, been split into 2 separate releases. Somewhat along the lines of like the Parallax stuff, but not as long. And I am quite excited to announce that there's banjo in this album. And I'm really curious to see where that's going to go.
That's I mean, I think this is the year for non-metal instruments in some serious ass metal.
Oh hell yeah.
So it was the year for the saxophone with Rivers, and now we're gonna go straight into Deliverance territory. Throw some goddamn banjo in there.
Without going like hardcore weird banjo metal stuff.
Oh dang dang ding ding ding. Like Jethro Tull
It's
with
out there.
breakdowns.
God damn it. I was trying to avoid bringing up Jethro Tull.
Well, you did. You avoided it successfully. I had no such rules. So,
pirate shit.
You've been listening to some Automata and some instrumental.
Pick it up on one again. Some instrumental stuff. I actually
Have you listened to Tram yet?
No.
Why?
I don't know what you're talking about.
TRAM. It's an acronym, so it's T period R period A period M period. It's I never remember the guy's name correctly because I feel like both of his names are last names. Tobin Sabasi, Asin Sabisi, or Shobin Chapasi. The guy from Animals is Leaders.
Okay, it's another Sumerian band.
Mortal Kombasi? I don't remember his name. Sorry, dude. You have a weird name. My bad. I really wish I could remember.
That out. That looks interesting.
I think his first name's Tosin. Let me see.
Yeah, Tosin the Bossy.
Okay, yeah. All right. See, anything that I said previous to that was just as ridiculous. It was literally equally ridiculous. You could make up a series of names and they sound just as silly as his actual name. So anyway, Solo Saplasi there, he is in that other band, Tram. And at least I think, that's how I'd heard of them, was there some kind of connection between that band and that dude.
Interesting.
I hope I'm getting this right. Let me see. Yeah, Tram. Tosin Sabasi. Yeah, I remember right. So they're like they're jazzy.
All right.
They're not, like Animals as Leaders is, gent with no vocals in places, and it's just
craziness.
A heavy metal jam band, a heavy metal instrumental jam band. Tram is like the jam band. They're just a jam band. I don't think that they're like metal. They have stuff that kind of gets like heavy sounding, but it's not like distorted and heavy. It's just how do I want to express it? It builds up like a lot of sense of impending doom in some of the tracks, or just like a lot of rising action. Where it's like you can feel it building up to a crescendo, and it's heavy in that sense, where it's like a big, like wall of sound moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing in there that's like dun 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 like that kind of shit. There's
Right.
none of that. And then another band you should check out if you want to go into the instrumental rabbit hole is Zoo. ZU. Zoo. They have a
And let's
record
see.
called Carboniferous.
Okay.
And it's. Man, I don't know what that music is,
That's not the right one.
but it's definitely interesting.
Carboniferous. There it is. Found it on Bandcamp.
Saxophone.
All right.
Same with Tram, but Tram has a lot of horns. Yeah,
I find that
Carboniferous is.
horns work really well in metal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it almost makes me feel a little bad because back in like my early days as a kid when I was listening to, you know, Metallica, getting into metal like the early ages and stuff, a friend of mine always wanted to be in like a metal band and he played the saxophone. And I was like, or the trumpet, and I'm like, dude, the trumpet has no room in heavy metal, and I feel like I owe him an apology
Yeah, you sure do.
because it totally fucking does.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
So Brandon, if you are somewhere out there and listening to this somehow, I'm sorry, you were right.
Like, who knew? Yeah, what do you know? Yeah, Carboniferous is a weird, visceral instrumental journey. I used to listen to that when I was playing Killing Floor, the first Killing Floor.
I can see that.
So yeah, so if you put that record on and listen to that and just imagine running around and slicing zombies up to pieces while that's just blaring in the background,
Mhm.
you'll have an idea of the kind of backdrop that music has in my brain, which is just like
Oh yeah.
a carnival of violence. Um, it sounds to me like the kind of music you could put on like as a soundtrack to a demented ass weird super ampy horror movie.
Hmm.
Um, really good stuff, but definitely like in their own dimension. It's not. I wouldn't exactly call it heavy metal. I wouldn't exactly call it heavy instrumental. It's something else. It's weird.
Yeah, I kind of dig this stuff because I can put it on and it's not really like offensive to anybody else, especially if they're like super not into the deep guttural growls and yelling and the other crazy shit we listen to.
Dude, Natasha cannot listen to that band Zoo. I
Really?
have another friend who's just like, yeah, they're like, no. And they
Huh.
will literally be like, I don't know why, but I would rather you put on like cattle decapitation than that. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, something about that is just so bonkers and out there that it makes my brain like get anxiety. I was like, oh, okay.
When's the singing gonna start?
Yeah, you know. Ah, man.
They've been playing for 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something relaxing about that, and something I don't know, safe about instrumental stuff. It's just nice.
Yeah, it's real jammy. I dig it, you know. Um, neither of those things are things I've been listening to. I was just kind of going off of your conversation. I have been listening to Alter Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I listened to that record for like a week when I got it, and then I got a bunch of shit in the mail that kind of completely took over. Like I think that was around the same time I got Monotheist and
Mm-hmm.
Virvum and Inanimate Existence, which is all your fault.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a lot of music to get through and digest, but I got around to getting back to that record, and uh, I know it's not your cup of tea, but to anybody out there who's more on my extreme spectrum of metal and death metal and tech death, Alter Beast is definitely a band that you should fucking listen to. Feast is the name of the record, and oof, man, just the first song like alone should give you a really clear idea of the straight ahead energy and the work ethic of this record in general. It just gets right to it, and I mean, just blast beat city, like your
Yeah.
head is banging, like as soon as that first song kicks in. And then there's a really cool riff, right after kind of like the first opening. There's like a really cool opening riff that's, like a small, it almost sounds like a small sliding solo. So it's like, it's something like that. And then there's the straight ahead riff, and then the the riff that kind of carries. I don't know if it's like the chorus or the bridge. I don't know when it comes to death metal songs, but there's a part in there where it kind of alternates between dun 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 dun.
Huh.
If you listen to the song, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you know what song that's on?
It's the first song,
Okay.
and I swear, dude, like that kind of like ear for melody and songwriting just makes me smile. Like these guys are making some seriously heavy and really tough ass music, and they have enough wherewithal and enough sense to layer in these really catchy and really groovy riffs throughout all of the songs. And there's just really cool trickery of the ear in a lot of their songs like that. There's a really cool riff that comes at the end of this breakdown on the second song, and they have this kind of borked out solo right at the end of it, and they add like an echo right to the
All right.
last note of the solo. So you
Oh,
hear
nice.
the last part of the solo like over and over as it fades out in the background. And I don't know why, but it's just the coolest fucking thing when you hear it the first time. You're just like, oh shit, that was badass. And then I went back on the record, and, like listened to the first two songs again just because I wanted to hear that part again. I was like, all right, we're moving the needle back on that one, and just started the
Nice.
record over. So there's a lot going on Feast. I did not, unpack all of it the first time around for sure, and I really recommend if you have an ear for tech death and just songwriting in general, give these guys a listen. It is definitely not on again the most extreme spectrum of that. They're not fucking Arcspire, so chill out. It's not 300 BPM or nothing all the time on this one. Uh,
Uh, Drum bot.
Jesus, but yeah, they're fucking fast and they're very technical. Um,
Yeah.
keep in mind that Rivers is still considered tech death, so
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, look, I'm the first to say it. I love Archspire. I do. But holy shit, if that is the bar for tech death, then there's no other band. There's
Yeah.
just them.
Archspire is like super, super polarizing.
They're in their own world, dude. Like I
Like that
love
album
them.
is dope, but like I have to super be in the mood to listen to that, or else it just does nothing for me.
Yeah, no, I get it, dude. And what's weird is like their super fans end up not liking like any other music because they're just like 300 BPM or nothing, bro. I'm like, dude, you can't. No. Like
Fans of Archspire strike me as the kind of people who go to like those car shows where they're just like putting as much power into the vehicle as possible to where like the whole goddamn thing's just shaking apart.
what's weird is like a lot of the dudes who I know that listen to Arcspire listen to like um Behold the Octopus and like
Right?
Dysrhythmia and just really obscure like math metal and shit like that. They're very nerdy. It's mostly like the nerdy nerds of metal that are into Arcspire. And then
Yeah.
oddly enough, you get this weird cross section of dudes that are into Arcspire and are at Archspire shows wearing Periphery hoodies, and you're like, what? Like, what's happening here? I don't know why, but Periphery like appeals to a lot of Meshuggah like super heavy dudes, even though we've talked about them. I don't mind them. But I think the older I get, the less I am enamored with their singing.
Yeah. Like I said, I've said before, I appreciate it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And let's see, what else have I been listening to this week? Um, there's two more Obscura songs out in the wild.
Oh boy.
I suggest everybody go listen to that. I'm probably gonna have to just bite the bullet. I think I should do that today and pre-order Diluvium, not the Good Shepherd game. Um, and then I went back to Sluggage. I've been listening to Sluggage again, and let's see. I'm actually going through my records so I can see what I've been pulling.
I actually was
Sluggage.
spent a bit of time listening to that this morning.
Oh, Sluggage.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
You and a couple others won't shut up about it and keep going back and giving it another shot and be like, it's getting better. It's growing on me.
A couple of others, dude. Me and like the entire fucking metal group were both in. Like, there was like right when that like right after this last winter, I noticed especially like February, March, everyone seemed to be discovering it and picking it up.
Yeah, kind of phase that out, or like tune that out, I guess.
Mm.
Seeing that album posted like every 5 minutes.
It's a good one. It's it's funny you mention it because I was listening to it and I was like, fuck, this is so good that I think maybe I should get Slime and Dim Ridden Kingdoms or whatever. Dim and Slime Ridden Kingdoms, that's the one. Cause it's like, dude, this record is so good. Maybe I should get their old stuff. So
Right.
that's where I'm at. Was also looking at picking up Wormed finally because I went to go and get it on Discogs. And this fucking store that's had the record listed on there forever, that's where I was going to grab it from. I went to go buy the purple version, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, just kidding. We don't actually have this." So like, 3 listings all at once came down.
Yeah, Christ.
It was like, great, dude. So now I just got to grab it.
Maybe they sold it in the shop and forgot to take it offline.
Yeah, Season of Mist has it for $20. So I'm probably gonna get that. But yeah, I'm just trying to watch my money on records lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to save up so I can go to shows and do a little bit of traveling because I want to go to QuakeCon next month. But man, like, there's stuff I gotta buy. I gotta have it. I gotta get it. I also need a new cartridge for my turntable.
Yeah, you gotta drop 200 on the order font red.
I don't want to, but I'm probably going to eventually. That's the thing is like, I was talking to somebody and they said even if you get like their starter model, they have like one that's mounted on a head shell on Amazon for like $80, and they were saying even that is better than the stock Audio Technica one.
Oh yeah.
So I might just I'm not. I feel like a $200 cartridge would then need to be like on an $800 turn. Like, I feel like that's a slippery slope. You get a $200 cartridge, I'm gonna start incrementally upgrading everything else around it.
Okay. I misspoke there. The blue is the 200 one. The red's like 130.
Oh,
But still,
yeah, whatever. Same difference, man.
I've looked into a couple other ones as well, and I'm just like, I need to get rid of the LP60 and get something a little nicer. I'm still a little torn between like what I want to go with. I've been looking at like the LP120 like you have, and the Fluon's RT81. I really like that one too.
Yeah, everyone says, it's weird because I go on to, the group, and I was trying to talk to somebody about just my turntable, and boy, you would think that I bought a turd.
Yeah, those people are impossible to deal with.
Yeah, it's just like no matter what, I'm like, bro, it's a fucking $300 turntable. Like, and just like, it's not a fucking cheap piece of shit by any means. You know, and he goes, it's considered an entry level turntable. And he goes, any good turntable is going to cost you upwards of $800. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to ever spend that much on a turntable, am I? So there you go. Like, especially not when you consider what I'm listening to on it. Like, really. You know,
Yeah.
I appreciate people saying that there's this, like higher fidelity that can be had beyond what I have right now, but look, dude, and you know this, my stereo is no slouch. I have some pretty good shit right now, and I feel
You need more
like
speakers, though. I'm never giving that up. You need more speakers.
you know, one day I I I was in Best Buy and I walked right past where they had the bookshelf speakers, the Polk T15s,
Yeah.
and I stopped and I like was looking at him, and the fucking rep came up, and he goes, dude, and he like totally recognized me. He goes, dude, didn't you just buy a pair of T50s? I was like, I did. And he goes, that's like $300 worth of speakers. I was like, yeah, I know, I realize. He goes, why are you in here? I was like, I'm just looking at the bookshelf speakers. He goes, you need more speakers than the T50s? I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
I
gotta
don't.
run speakers to the other side of the house.
Well, I told him, I was like, oh, I don't just have the T50s. He's like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, I have my Onkyo three-way bass reflex speakers paired up with those as well. And he's like, well, what's in those? I was like, the two 12s, 6x9s, horn, and a tweeter. And he was just like, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? He's like, if you got bookshelf speakers and you added them to this, he goes, he's like, it would be what we call a full array. He's like, you would basically, he's like, you would fill an entire like house with sound. And then he was asking, about my
Not enough.
space, and I told him, I'm like, yeah, that's where I'm at though, is that it's the sound now is actually too much sound for a small space. So,
You gotta make sure your neighbors can hear it.
yeah, well, I fucking dude.
Maybe that'll keep Becker out.
Just had to have a lovely conversation with the police the other day about my music
About
box.
noise.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. I was just like, dude, it's not coming down. I'm not turning things down. I do long enough for him to like, I don't know. I just
For him to shut up.
sure.
Let for him to cool down.
Yeah.
Just right back up again.
Yeah, you give him something to think about. But, like I've mentioned on here many times before, oh, the pornography that I have to hear. So, whatever. Tit for tat.
Literally.
I think, honestly, like, if I was, gonna do anything with my turntable setup, I would, just get a new cartridge. I was trying to explain something to one of those dweebs on that metal group we're on about my setup, and he goes, well, the thing is most people, he starts, well,
And
actually,
immediately just ignore him.
he was trying to say, he goes, well, the preamp inside of your LP 120 is pretty weedy, so you're going to want to get an external preamp. And I was like, I have the thing hooked up to a fucking receiver. I'm like, and from there, I was like, pretty good. He goes, yeah, but when you turn up, you have to turn the volume up pretty substantial to get volume out of it, right? And I'm like, how do you mean? He goes, well, like for example, if you had a preamp, you'd only have to turn the dial up to 30 for it to actually. I'm like, really? That's the thing? That you're like, you know what you should spend an extra $200 on a thing for, is so that you don't have to turn the knob up to 60. I'm like, I
Nah.
promise you, I don't fucking care. Like, I've never once been able to turn that thing up past like 75% volume without me worrying about the integrity of my skull.
Yeah, causing another earthquake in
Oh,
California.
dude, there's no way. So when he was like mentioning that, I was like, do you have any idea how fucking loud that would be at that point? Like, I wouldn't be able to turn the thing up. Like, that would be the other fucking catch 22 of it. Is if I
Yeah.
did that, then I wouldn't be able to, like, just kind of have the thing on low volumes because every volume would be rumble. It's just like, dude, you
Yeah.
don't get it. Like, you're talking about two
Talking
powered
absurdities.
12-inch subwoofers. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
bro,
Like at some point, like there is such thing as too loud.
there really is. And for me, it's the point when there's literally things falling off my walls. Literally falling off the walls. Like, we had a fucking picture rumble off the fucking thing. I was like, that's a signed poster. You know, like, all right, you know, that's too loud. You know, so yeah, it I don't know. Some of those arguments about sound and all that shit, I just feel like you have to take into consideration a real world application. Like in
Yeah.
theory, that all sounds good and well, but in actuality, like I said, my cat's bones would liquefy.
As much of an asshole as he is, you kind of like him.
Yeah, and I don't want to have a gelatinous cat, you know, because I wanted to listen to Rings of Saturn's groovy bass fucking tones, you know. So, that's my vinyl swag chat advice for the day. If you're gonna upgrade anything, upgrade your cartridge. I think for you, you should probably do your cartridge first. You could get a higher grade AT cartridge. Get the
Yeah.
green one.
Yeah, I looked at a couple of those too, but
Because those
I
are
don't know.
cheap.
With
The
yeah,
green stylus is only 34, dude.
right.
Yeah, like that's a really small upgrade you could do. Because you're on your level, I don't think the cartridge would make a difference until you had a higher range of speakers.
Right.
Because you don't have what bookshelf speakers are you using right now?
They're nothing spectacular. They're oh hell, who makes them? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oops. Let's see orders. Yeah, they're just Dayton, like 6.5 inch. I've got some Technics speakers, but I can't use them because they're too much for this place.
Mm.
Like you've got something a little more. Looks like the ceilings in your place are a little lower. The ceilings in this place are like super high up,
No,
which just creates all sorts of echo.
I'm just an asshole. It's you got to keep
Fair
that in
enough.
mind.
Wasn't gonna go there. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just that's the other key criteria here is that I have no qualms about having to face daily consequences for playing my music.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10 for the sound, mine barely goes up past like 2.5, because
Mm.
that's enough to fill like this whole room with noise.
And rumble.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you have a dynamic EQ on your receiver?
Um, I haven't really poked around with that too much. I picked up an old receiver from a lady through Facebook. And I haven't really quite messed with it a whole lot. Like I kind of just defaulted it to like out of box and just went with it.
You know, one day I should actually do a live stream for everybody on this, but especially if you're picking up vintage gear, I think like there's only one thing on my speaker that kind of got fucked with a little bit because I did this is a speaker cover. But one of the things I do whenever you pick up older stuff, and I'm sure you may have already done this, so I hope I'm not telling you some shit you already know, is pick up a can of this stuff called Deoxit,
Mm-hmm.
and then open that receiver up, take it apart as much as you can to where you can get into the insides and just spray every contact and connector that you can with that deoxit. It's a deoxidizer. And
Yeah, it's just a fucking lifesaver.
yeah, I love that shit. I do the same thing with speakers. So when I got the vintage Onkios, I opened those up, opened up the back, and like I said, only one little speaker cover a speaker grill got chipped. And I think it was just because it was old and had been sitting in the sun a little too long. So one little corner of a speaker grill cover chipped off. It's not enough to have caused any rattle on the speaker or cause any impediment to sound whatsoever. So I lucked out there. But what I did was I actually, especially because these older sort of mid-end, high-end, they're like mid-high end speakers in terms of like price point and all that. They had ferrofluid in them. So go into
Mm-hmm.
the back of these speakers and take that deoxit and just spray every contact and all the little terminals for the speakers, and I hooked them up, and they fired, right up nice, crispy and clean. But a lot of the older stuff, you're gonna miss some of the sound just because, the dirt impedes the transmission of electricity and shit like that. I know
Mm-hmm.
you know that, but for
Yeah.
some of our people out here who are like, how do I get into vintage fucking stereo gear like these stupid assholes? That's a tip from us to you. Take a fucking can of deoxit to anything old that you pick up and spray the fuck out of anywhere where there's an electrical connector, a terminal, or a contact, and just
Yeah.
be thorough with it.
Grab like an old toothbrush as well,
Mm-hmm.
something like with some soft bristles to kind of free up any debris. That's just a general rule of thumb with any kind of old electronic when you pick it up.
Yep.
I tore this receiver and the CD player that came along with it. It's an old 5 disc from like '97, um, and both devices were spotless, as if they've just been pulled out of the damn box. No weird smell, no dust buildup, no nothing. They were perfect.
You're very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, I got a hell of a deal for $40.
Yeah, so I would go onto your receiver and see if there's an equalizer, and then just drop the bass. Yeah, just fucking turn the bass way down. That's what I do some mornings when I want to listen to music, but I don't want to bug. Is I will actually turn my bass to like -6 on my
Yeah, I've got
receiver.
a an option that just kind of like will just eliminate like the low bass. It'll leave some of it there, but like the really low heavy stuff, we'll kind of turn that off, and I'll use that. I'll turn that off like later at night. It's on right now. I was just listening to stuff before we started this,
Hmm.
and it sounds really great. And I'm thinking, since I have a day off and I've got a couple more hours left before people start coming home, I might hook up what I call the A-Team. That's my Technics speakers, just to give them a little run.
Word.
See just
Yeah.
how dumb loud it is in here.
I mean, dude, on the weekend when it's just me and pretty much the apartment parking lot has emptied out,
Hmm.
I'll turn the bass to 10 and then just throw on like a Black Dahlia Murder record and like lock Ewok in the bedroom and just turn those speakers up and sit right in front of them. And I swear to God, it is so fucking loud that the double bass like will pound your chest.
Oh
You're
yeah.
sitting there like tick, 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 tick. I'm like, yay, horse kicks. So yeah,
So I'm
I
looking around right now.
I am a big
Um,
fan of bass in heavy music too. I think it's an
hmm.
underutilized thing in general. That's why
Oh yeah.
you know one of the things you'll always catch me talking about whenever I talk about records is like I really liked the bass on this, because bass players when they can make themselves stand out, especially in heavy metal music,
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's why that Virvum record, again, not to go back to that again, like again and again and again, but there is a fucking bass groove in the opening intro song that just as soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah, dude, the fucking bass player in this band. Um, so yeah, I'm a big fan of bass.
Oh yeah. And like another example is I can't remember if it's in Conscious Cedar Light or if it's in Owls, but there's a definite bass groove to it in a couple of the songs that like I just fucking dig.
Yeah, all three of their records have been very.
God damn, I want Monarchy so bad.
I know. Don't even get me started. They said soon. Liars.
I know. They said soon a couple times.
Damn it. Damn it, Brody. I know you're listening
Oh,
somehow,
so fucking good.
some way. Make it happen, Broads. Come on, man. Do it. Just do it, man. Just do it. Just do it. And clip that and send it to them. Yeah, they are definitely a bass heavy band. I do think you're right. Conscious, Monarchy, and Owls
Mhm.
are all. They've all got some chunky chunks in there.
Like, I would love to just sit back and just listen to Monarchy the song, and like that fucking ending riff is just killer.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I I'm trying to think of another band that's really bass heavy. Inanimate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Trust me.
yeah, those guys are definitely bass heavy. Um, mm, Mastodon, they've always been bass heavy, but they're not really
Mm, not so much
metal
anymore.
anymore. Yeah, so I don't know. Let's see. Let's try to wrap up with some finishing things to touch on. Uh, Not a whole lot going on in the metal world that I, want to spend a bunch of time talking about. There's all that dumb shit going on with Maynard from Tool,
Yeah,
whatever. Vinnie
whether it
Paul,
happened or not, I'm not surprised.
oh, whatever.
He's
Honestly, like,
weird.
yeah, I just feel like, here's my thing. I kind of, it's gonna sound so fucked up and shitty to say. I kind of don't give a shit anymore about like what he did or didn't do in that capacity, and I just want him and all of his music and everything that he does to just kind of like vanish for a while. And
Yeah,
it
could
and
use a bit of
that
a break.
yeah, I'm fucking tired of hearing about Tool's album never coming out every 2 months. I'm tired of hearing about A Perfect Circle. I don't like their new music at all. I don't
No.
like Pussifer at all. I've never really liked that band. They have like maybe two songs that I dig. And I've said this before about Tool and on this show. Like, prog has moved on, dude. Like, way past that.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
Maybe
it's
old.
gone.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's definitely gone in a lot more directions, and started fusing with a bunch of other genres.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think I can listen to Tool anymore and feel like they're, forward thinking or pushing the genre into new territory. It's
No, it was
just,
certainly a product of the time.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, maybe they're gonna make that kind of music. There's gonna certainly be this thing of nobody else can sound like Tool, but fucking a, at this point, with as much music as I listen to, that should be true of any band. That nobody should be able to sound like you. That should be the bare minimum requirement of people paying attention to what you do. If you
Yeah,
sound like another band, then you're probably not that good. So I hear that like line of reasoning and I'm like, meh, I guess. I'm not that interested to hear that sound anymore. I find too, like, in the last couple of years, this was before any of this stupid shit on the internet. And I've said this, like, in our conversations, like, I don't know that I go back to a lot of Tool records anymore and try to listen to them. It's like every now and again I get it in my head to listen to like one or two songs from an album, but
yeah.
I don't the staying power of sitting there and listening to an entire Tool record all the way through, it just
It just doesn't happen.
it's not there
Like
for me
I'll
anymore.
throw on what do I have? It's Lateralis or whatever. And I'll listen to like one of the sides, and that's about it.
Oh right, you actually have some of their stuff on vinyl. Word.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Undertow. I get their albums mixed up.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't even have any of their stuff on vinyl. Um, so that's more of a commitment than I could even make.
I found a good deal on it. And was like, yeah, this will be good.
Right. And they don't do like any special editions of their vinyls or anything, right? It's just
No, it's just all straight up black stuff.
plain old black vinyl. How interesting.
Yeah.
Way to really connect with what's going on.
Yeah, like the first LP, just side one, side two. That's about it.
That's that's funny. I mean, literally every other band right now is doing special edition vinyls and taking the time to, present them in a really cool and awesome way, and
Yeah.
they're just like,
Well,
nope.
I stood and admired Owls this morning as it was playing. It's a
Oh yeah.
beautiful fucking record, and it just sounds so good.
Yeah, I mean, even just the, you know, swamp green that I have of it. You can tell when it's a label that gives a shit. Like Metal Blade
Yeah.
gives a shit. All of their
Oh yeah.
records look fantastic. I was spinning my Revocation record the other day, and I was like, man,
Hmm.
this looks great. All the Black Dahlia murder stuff is all Metal Blade, and that all looks great. I think.
You can tell as well from like how clean and smooth the albums are as well.
Mhm.
As anyone can just punch out, a couple hundred copies of something, and it's scratchy and it's sharp on the edges.
I will admit there's a little glitch in my first press of Nightbringers.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, where it just kind of bumps a couple of times on the first track. And that's a little annoying, but
Hmm.
whatever. Maybe eventually I'll just replace it. And that brings up my final thought of the fucking show for the night, the day, the whatever. If I'm gonna buy concert tickets to your freaking show, all
Here we
right,
go.
and I want to buy, say, two of them, yeah, and they're $25 a piece, right? Okay, how is it that my fucking total ends up being 72 motherfucking dollars? Get that shit under control. I just threw something across my apartment as I was saying that. You people are fucking lunatics. $22 in service fees. It's $3 away from being the face value of a fucking another ticket, dude. Like, I can't. And I just want Black Dahlia Murder to know I would have been there tonight. I wanted to so bad. But I saw you last year at Summer Slaughter. That's a story we all know about. And on top of that, I am not fucking paying those fees, dude. I'm just not doing
That's
it.
insane.
It's fucking nuts, dude. Cause like, feel me on this. $75, that's what it is. Let's just round it up. 75. So I'm basically paying for a third ticket, except nobody's coming with me. So there's that. It's just me and, the lady going to a show. And then I'm going to get there. You still have to pay for parking, right? So that's another $5, $10. Then, I'm probably going to be hungry because the show starts at 5:30, which is just like, what the fuck, dude? Really?
Yeah, that's a bad time.
5:30? Are you kidding me? That's when the doors are. So I know that means that all the bands that the fucking management or the booking agent thinks nobody is coming to see, aka Aversion's motherfucking Crown, they're going to be going on at like 5:45. So, you know what my idea of a good time is? I want to sit in fucking rush hour traffic between Los Angeles and Orange County, on the 5 freeway at the height of rush hour on the most congested highway in America
On a Friday.
on a Friday. Are you fucking insane?
Be
Whoever
careful, you're coming
booked
off
this,
the goddamn highway.
dude, like seriously, whoever booked this, or just like what were you thinking about, man? Like 5:30? Seriously? 8 o'clock, bro. On a Friday, 8 o'clock, dude. The venue won't let you do doors at 7, just so you can postpone everything so people go on at 8. Then don't do the show on a Friday. Don't do the show. Like if you're
Yeah.
gonna do a 5:30 show, make that a Monday night, dude. That's a Monday or a Sunday. I am not trying to. Yeah, even then, you're
I
pushing
hate
it.
those fucking shows.
5:30 is a shit time for a fucking show, dude. It's just terrible. It's too early. It's too fucking early. I'm not going out at 5. Like, dude, especially like I said, I didn't even think about that until I just said it out loud about traffic. Dude, that's an hour and 15 minutes for me to get to where this place would be. Sitting
Hmm.
in just bumper to bumper bullshit. Like, no. And then, I get there. I'm going to be starving. I'm going to be aggravated. Like, I'm going to buy food there at the venue. So what, a fucking $25 cheeseburger? You know, like I'm sure it's probably like
Yeah, you're easily looking at a couple, like $150 for a show, and that's just too much.
oh, that's if I get off easy, dude. The food
Yeah.
will probably be like $12 a plate. So probably about like 24 bucks before tip. So you're looking at $30. So already that's $100. And then I'm probably gonna want like a couple of t-shirts and a vinyl.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're looking at 150, 170 bucks, almost $200. Oh, and in count drinks. God, I'm stupid. I'm not gonna stand there and not drink alcohol. So yeah, dude, 200 easy. $200 to go to one show. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I've passed up on quite a few of those lately.
I'm not made of money, honestly.
No,
That's all
and I
it
got
is.
other shit that I need to be taken care of, like not metal related whatsoever. But Weird Al did a tour recently, and he came, just down the street from where I live, and the tickets for one person alone, dude, was like $75.
Mm. Yeah, I get
And
that.
like that's just fucking unreal.
Mm. Bro, he's been around
I know.
longer than dirt.
I've seen him. I've seen him once before, but story for another time.
Nah, and I'm to understand he puts on a very good show.
Oh, it's incredible. It's like 3 hours of just the best, the best madness you can imagine.
Yeah, he does like
Costume changes,
skits
all
and
that
costumes.
shit.
Yeah, like yeah. I can only imagine that you get your $75.
He came out in the fat suit from Michael Jackson's, Bad.
Right.
Like it was incredible.
Right. Yeah, like I said, you get your $75. You get your
But
$75.
yeah, $75 for 2 tickets to go see BDM is just too much.
No, that's dumb. Like again, I would have done it if the service fees would have been like $5 a ticket. I would have still complained. Don't get me wrong, because I still feel like, come on, really, it should be a couple of bucks. But I would have done it. But fucking $11 per ticket in service fees, and then that's not even counting parking, food, drinks, merch, blah blah. Blah. It's like, dude, no, 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 no. I'm starting to just see my wallet like literally grow legs, run over to a can of gasoline, pour it on itself, light itself on fire, and then just jump out of my pocket. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'll see you
right
later.
after a Steam sale.
Yeah, no, no thanks. I just look at my wallet as it burns on the ground. I'm like, I hope you know what you're doing. Like, over, dude. And I gotta get a new phone. My fucking cell phone sucks, so I gotta buy a new phone. I don't have money right now to fucking, like I said, sorry, dudes, but I
Yeah,
saw you last year, and I'll
it'll
get my
come around again.
vinyls signed some other time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but seriously, if you are in any way, shape, or form the person who was involved, connected, or related to how that got booked in the first place, what the fuck are you doing?
It's so dumb.
Yep.
I'm
So,
such an idiot.
with that, I would say thank you for tuning in for another week. This month we were gonna do, in the spirit of independence, we were gonna do a bunch of independent records, but then we realized that like in the context of death metal, that's everything.
Yeah.
So it just
Death
kind of
metal bands don't get signed to big record
yeah,
labels.
nobody's trying to sign that shit anymore. Like if we did it to where we didn't cover anything that was like not indie, then we'd have to cover shit that was signed by Roadrunner, and I would
Yeah, Century.
nah, dude. Well, Century's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, they got Bodums. They got Skeleton Witch. They got some actual shit on there. Roadrunner is just nothing but core and radio. Blech. Nickelback is signed to Roadrunner. Remember that.
Roadrunner also signed Fear Factory.
I mean, Fear Factory also did a song with Cypress Hill.
That's a good song.
No, it isn't. Thank you for tuning in to Metal Wolf from myself and Tulsa. You want to give them all the social medias?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at the Tulsinator. We can talk about how great that song is from Fear Factory and Cypress
No.
Hill. or you can join Steve's side at Rage of the Mage on Twitter, and you can bash on me for a while, whatever.
Yes.
Don't forget uh, at Mecha Wolfpack for the channel Twitters. I'll drop a link in again for the Discord. You can come talk to us there too. And yeah, have a good week.
Yep. Or try to. See you guys.
Peace.